Hi, my name is Carl Valerian. Welcome to Aviation Careers Podcast. You know, I've been really concerned lately. A lot of people, because of this downturn in hiring right now in the pilot population, they're quitting and they're going to stop flying. Well, don't do that. Don't stop flying. Keep flying. Don't give up. And that's what I'm going to talk about today in this episode. I'm going to give you some tips from my 23 years of actually in this industry helping people move forward in their careers. So listen up. Don't quit flying. Keep flying and keep building hours. But before we get started, one of the things I really want to stress here is that we're seeing a downturn in the industry, but things will eventually turn around and pick up again. How do I know that? Well, it's just the way it is. It's cyclic, right? When it happens, that's a different story. And that's where people try to predict when the actual downturn and when the upturn comes again. And that's something that you need to be ready for. And that's why I say, keep flying and don't give up. So what I'd like you to do is kind of sit back and relax and enjoy this little ride here. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I have in my little repertoire that keeps me going, keeps me motivated, and things that you can do so that you keep motivated and keep you moving forward with your career. So number one, let's talk about this. Let's talk about getting additional ratings. You know, other than, keeping flying, that's going to help you, right? But get additional ratings. How do you do that? You have to pay for it sometimes. Well, one of the ways you can pay for those additional ratings is, through scholarships. There's a lot of scholarships out there through all these different organizations, and especially for those non-traditional type of scholarships. And those you can find real easily in our scholarships guides, aviationcareerspodcast.com/free, and you can get one for free because of our sponsor of this podcast, and that's Stratus Finance. Use that coupon code STRATUS to get one of those for free. Our sponsor, Stratus Financial, they are actual pilots themselves. They're giving away many different scholarships using that coupon code STRATUS. Whether it's financing your dream of flying or simplifying the process by taking care of your student loans, their efficient, hassle-free funding can connect you to a life of your dreams of becoming a professional pilot sooner than you ever thought possible. To find out more about their loans, go to stratus.finance, and a lot of the schools that are out there actually use those loans. So Stratus Finance is the sponsor of this, and they're the ones that will give away those free scholarships, guys, to help you possibly maybe get a type rating, a 737 type rating, maybe get a seaplane rating. So that's included in that, to going out and getting additional ratings. Go use those scholarships to increase the amount of hours you have. Also, what this does, it makes you more competitive. It makes you more competitive when you go out there and start applying for these jobs. The other thing I want you to do is this. A lot of times when we're involved in a career progression, we forget about where we're going, right? The most important thing before you start on a path somewhere is having a vision of your future. Having a vision of where you are going is incredibly important. It's like a race car driver or anybody simply driving down the road. When you have a vision, you have a view of where you are going, you will continue on the right track. If you decide to turn away, you might wind up in a ditch. And I don't want you to wind up in a ditch in your career. And doing that, by having that vision, a lot of times it'll help you get through these times that are slower. And it'll help you actually keep flying through this. And by the way, one of the things I want to say is, I know a lot of people have stepped out of this whole marketplace. And it bothers me a little bit because I've seen this happen over and over and over again. When I was the furlough rep for the Airline Pilots Association, one of the things that really frustrated me is when people got furloughed, they stopped flying. 2-3 years later, when they got called back to work, they started flying again. But then again, they weren't proficient. And then they lost their jobs because when they went back to flying, they couldn't pass the training. So make sure you keep competitive. Also, during those furloughs, the companies sometimes went out of business. So now you need to be competitive for the next job. So keep on flying. And to keep flying, a lot of times you have to keep that vision in view. Absolutely. Also, another thing that keep you motivated and keep you flying is research your goal. Really research your goal. Listen to some of the people that are on this podcast as to what they're doing as far as flying is concerned. Maybe it's somebody who's doing aerial survey. Maybe it's somebody who's actually a firefighter, somebody who's flying cargo, somebody who's flying passengers, somebody who's a regional pilot, a corporate pilot, and somebody who's become an air traffic controller, a dispatcher, etc. Make sure you do research on that goal, because a lot of times when you start researching that goal, it gives you more motivation. There's tons of stuff on YouTube right now, which is really awesome. And I love the fact that there's so much out there. So you can look at, there's all different types of people out there that are putting out what they're doing on their jobs, and they're showing their wonderful life as a pilot. Go out and watch those. That'll keep you motivated. We like to talk about that. I don't have pictures of me going to work, but I will say one thing. I love my job. It's a blast. I mean, think about this. Tomorrow, I'm going to go sit on the beach in southern Florida. The next day, I'm going to go and check out the exhibits up in Washington, D.C. Last week, I was on the beach in Puerto Rico. So those are some of the really cool things about the job. So keep those visions in your mind. I think that's really, really important. And when you're researching your goal, do this. Get really granular. Get really granular on what it is you exactly want to do. So do that for me. Get really granular. Start looking at a specific vision, a specific airline, a specific position flying a specific airplane. And that'll really help you when you're moving forward towards this goal. So start really looking at this. And that's where, again, YouTube has been so wonderful, helping people in that way. Another way to help yourself and moving forward in your goal is research the investor relation pages at those companies that you're thinking of actually flying for. And it's really simple. I'll give you an example. If you want to look up Delta Airlines, go to ir.delta.com, and that's investor relations. So now you're thinking of flying for Delta Airlines, you're going to get a really incredibly granular picture, and you're also going to be informed about Delta Airlines years before you even go to work there. So when you come to the interview, you'll know everything about that company, because you're going to be listening to all the different quarterly earnings, the industrial conferences that they have, and other things as far as any type of press releases they might have and come out, and any other things that they might do on the news. It'll be there in the investor relations. So that's just one company. You can do it for United, Delta, American, all those different companies. Next thing I want you to do, networking, including social media and other groups. So what do I mean by that? Social media meaning LinkedIn. Make a LinkedIn profile. Get on there and look at other people and other groups on places like Facebook, pilots looking for jobs, airline pilot Facebook groups. There's tons of those groups out there. LinkedIn is a great resource. All the regional airlines are out there that are hiring. All the major airlines that are out there are hiring. And those are where all the people that do the recruiting stay. And that's on LinkedIn. So go check that out. Make a profile and check that out. The other groups I'm talking about getting involved with, places like Women in Aviation, OBAP, Latino Pilots Association, Professional Asian Pilots Association. The other ones, MBAA, National Business Aviation Association. That's more for the private and business aviation. Get involved in these groups and start really networking, because right now, people are getting hired by airlines. I know everybody's saying the airlines aren't hiring, but my clients get hired. And that's another thing. You may want to reach out to somebody. Maybe reach out to a coach. I mean, like we have the coaching services. And by the way, that's another thing I've been really excited about. We're doing this group coaching and mentorship program where it's only $20 a month, and we meet at least once a month, and we record those sessions, and you can ask whatever you want during that session. We have an inspirational story. I give you an industry update, a really in-depth industry update. And then the next thing we do is a short topic and then questions and answers. And we put all those past sessions on there. So say you join, you can see all the past sessions, and you can get involved and keep motivated for a very inexpensive price. And that's the reason I did that. I wanted people to get involved. And by the way, we're actually, I'm pretty sure there's still coupons out there. If you use a coupon code COACHITFORWARD, you can actually get 1 month free within that group coaching. So go check that out, aviationcareerspodcast.com/coaching. Click on group coaching. So the other thing, besides getting involved in all these groups, is physically go to where people might hire you. Well, where would that be? The airport. If you're a pilot, right? Go to the airport. Go to the different places where people might hire you. Those organizations, they also have career fairs. Go to the career fairs. Latino Pilots Association just had one. People are getting job offers. They're getting conditional job offers, what we call CJOs, at these conferences. But you have to go to where the people are that are hiring. Trust me, when you're in front of somebody and you're talking, you're going to get more information than just sitting here on the phone and talking. It really is amazing how much more can be done by what we used to call pressing the flesh, by a handshake and actually talking one-on-one. So that's one of the places you want to hang out, where people are hiring. Also, go to where your future coworkers hang out. Where's that? Air shows. Air shows. Your future coworkers that are in aviation, they might be at air shows. They're going to be going to these different events that have to do with aviation, maybe at an aviation museum, volunteering at the Girls in Aviation Day. There's all sorts of things that you can go to where your coworkers are going to be hanging out, your future coworkers, that is. And another thing, when you're at these events, the next thing I want you to do is this. Ask questions that will encourage people to help you. Ask questions that will encourage people to help you. What do you mean by that? So if you're at an event and there's somebody that works for a company that you want to work for, don't just walk up to them and say, hey, I want to work for your company. Go up to them and start talking about their job and tell them that you're interested in doing that type of work. And I think that's really important, is to actually, talk to them about the type of work that you're interested in doing and to have them help you, because people always want to have people, helping other people. I think that's absolutely important. So the next thing I want you to do is this. I want you to wear clothes that'll actually start conversations about aviation and aviation careers. Be careful what you wear, though, and make sure it's not political in any way, because that really turns people off. But what am I talking about? I'm talking about things like Cessna. If you want to fly Airbus 320, wear an Airbus shirt or something that says Airbus 320 or future career pilot, or wear American Airlines. If you're into American Airlines, wear their shirts. DC-3s, something to do with aviation, because that really puts you out there as somebody that's interested in aviation. So make sure that you start wearing clothes that are appropriate to aviation, because that'll start up conversations even if you're not at the airport, if you're not at those places where all your future coworkers will hang out, where people might hire you. You never know. If you're going to be at McDonald's someday and somebody is sitting there and then sees you wearing an Airbus shirt, and they're the person that does the hiring for the airline you want to work for. So that's really important, to make sure that you're always constantly moving forward. One of the reasons I put together this video is this. I found that a lot of people are stopping. They're not flying anymore. I want you to keep flying. I want you to keep moving forward. And the reason they've stopped is they felt either they have enough hours, because of this downturn, they're not going to get hired anyway, or they're afraid of what's happening in the news. I want to address both of those. Number one, you'll never have enough hours, because even during a downturn, when people start hiring, and there are people hiring right now, they're going to look towards the people that have more hours. The only way you're going to get more hours is to continue to fly. So if the minimums for that job were 1,500 hours and other people keep flying, and now the minimums go up to 3,000 hours and you didn't keep flying, well, the people that kept flying and got to those 3,000 hours, they're going to get hired and you're not. So put yourself in that position. So make sure you put yourself in that position. The other thing, too, is those people that had to stop flying. Maybe you got scared by this, or you had to stop flying to take care of your family, etc. Well, do something for me. Try to somehow keep involved in aviation by going out there and maybe taking some courses, maybe getting involved in preparing for your next written exam, or possibly doing some phone calls and getting out there and actually renting a plane every so often. Keep yourself in aviation, because the further you get away from aviation, the longer it takes you to get back into it. People were former fighter pilots. They were out of aviation for a while. They had to get back into it. And they decided, I want to go back to this career. But they had to do some remedial type of training. It took them a little while to get back in because they hadn't flown an airplane in a long time. Don't let that happen to you. I want you to keep flying and keep moving forward. So hopefully these things will help you. But most importantly, keep doing something every day and take action today. One of the things you can do, and one of the things that I think has been great to help people, is this new group career coaching that we've been doing. It's more of a mentorship type of thing where we have an inspirational story. I give you my update on the industry and some inside knowledge there, and we talk about a short topic, and then it's questions and answers. And it's just those people that are involved in the group coaching. Plus, if you miss the group coaching sessions, we record them all, so you can watch every single one we've done in the past, and it's just specific questions that are asked within that group. And it's been a really, really good group with some really great questions. You can check that out at aviationcareerspodcast.com/coaching. Click on the group career coaching mastermind. Use a coupon code COACHITFORWARD to get 1 month free to do that. But do me this favor, please take action today. Do something today to move forward in your career and in your life. It could be something simple as watching videos on YouTube, listening to podcasts, reading about your next company that you might work for, getting ready for your next written exam. But make sure you do something today to move forward in your career and in your life. We'll talk to you next episode. Safe flying out there.